already planned to do this live stream update of the progress of Las Vegas Stadium in light of this trust problem and the overall myriad number of problems that have caused this project to be delayed and undoubtedly over budget, even though they're not going to tell us that yet. Until then, guess what? Ba-ba-ba-ba-da! A 6.9 on the Richter scale, originally reported as 7.1 on the Richter scale earthquake hit, and that just happened 10 minutes ago. Now, this is live in Las Vegas right now. It is 9:04 p.m. Hey, Joseph M. Mendez, how are you? Uh, I am making this to follow up on the progress on what was done here since July 4th. So the best way to do that is the last report, I said that originally this beast crane, which is called, was actually hunched over and it was supporting that truss segment uh, and there, and then they removed it. They lifted it up just after 12 noon on, hey, Sean, please post your email again and also send my email to Zenny62. Send the email to Zenny at Zenny62.com. Thanks, okay? Anyway, the, hey, John Akala, how are you? This crane is now back upright again. It wasn't like that all day long. They had moved into various positions, but it wasn't hoisting anything. Perhaps testing it, I'm not sure. But I'm wondering that if it sustained some kind of shaking or damage or something happened that such that it's in this position and not in this previous position. Yeah. Oh, two quakes in 2 days. Did your sister feel the quake today? That other quake just happened. It literally just happened like now 15 minutes ago, 20 minutes ago. But this is both. She felt both. Wow. And see, if she felt both, I'm thinking that, you really have to start inspecting this because if people are feeling this in Las Vegas, it's having some problem. 6.4 in Las Vegas just now, my God, it's having some problem with such that this needs to be inspected and don't assist. They're moving along. They Let's see what's happened here. Let's go back, Donis, and let's look at the archive view of what's happened. Okay, this was from 9:55 on the 4th of July. You could see originally what I'm talking about, where they had this beast supporting one of the trusses over the lanai door. That's the lanai door opening, right? And then they had the other two here, and then they have these devices, which are actually, I believe, welding steel into place here. Okay, and yeah, that's right. I did. Thank you for pointing that out. Yeah, all of this matters. And here's another truss band that's under construction here that will be put into place at some point. Now, let's see what happened to that. Okay, now let's go back to the live view here. Here's the live view. And as we can see, that truss band is no longer there. They cleared it out. And I'm wondering if they put it up here to finish this side. They still have this to go. The only way to determine if they have is to see if we can actually go backward in time. That's not letting us do that. If we play the time lapse, the trouble is it's going to give us just that, the time lapse. Okay, so let's go up here and see. It says a time lapse for Earth Cam. Fine. How about back there? And it gives you, this is June, right? The time lapse. Let's stop. Let's see if it'll. Oops, it won't. It won't. So what happened was we went too far down. Now we're here. We go back down here a bit more, right? And we got the archive views. We have live. Let's click on live here, right? And then let's click on this. Let's see if we can get that. Okay, so that's EarthCam, right? And this is a share full screen. It won't go back forward. It did before. I wonder if they're not adjusting that because of my influence. Pin toolbar, what is that? Unpin it. And let's just get the archive view again here. All right. Let's see if we can move this forward. Next image plus 1 day. It won't give us the 1 day. See, it goes to July 5th, right? But it won't move us beyond the 1 day anymore. It did earlier today. So we played the time lapse. Let's not do that. Let's go back to the archive views here. And let's try the panorama this way. So this is June 4th, July 4th morning. That was all right. And this is July 4th morning. And you can see where the truss has been used, right? So now let's go back here, escape that, go back to the live shot here, there, and then go up the Stadium Cam and get out of this gigapixel, and then go to view 1 instead, and then scroll down. See if we can get anything. We might just have a reprieve. At 10 a.m., right? So look at this. We can now move forward. So look, we can see what's going on with these. We found the workaround. This is July 4th at 12 p.m. All right. You see how this is in place? So let's just watch what happens as I move forward from 12 noon to 12:20. All right. Get rid of that. Excuse me. 12:20. 1 o'clock. See, now 1 o'clock it's up, right? See that? See at 12:40. Look at that. They had it here, right? See, it was in place. Okay. And then watch what happens over here. Okay. See, had this, right? And then let's move forward. All right. See that? See that crane coming up? And look what it's doing. It looks like it's still going. And it's joined by another crane. And another crane. See, and look what's going on. It's moving here. It's been lifted. See that? See that? It was lifted up, right? Here, okay? See that? So at 5 o'clock, they lifted that into place. So they put this truss into place over here, all right? That's what they did. They built it down there, and they lifted it over here, okay? Meanwhile, this is June 5th at 6 a.m., all right? And we have this straight up, nothing's going over here, all right? So, so we go from 6 a.m. to 6:20, and then 6:20 in the morning, okay? And see here, and then we have, oh, by the way, there's nothing that's not much to do about nothing in a project like this, okay? So everything matters in this project, every single thing. So they have these up. This is at 6:40 this morning, and see if I can kill this there. Okay, 6:40 this morning. Hey, Patrick and Blackman, how are you? So let's move that forward a bit more. There, and that's at 7 o'clock in the morning. And watch this crane and watch these two cranes. Okay, and there. More, and here comes one of those. These devices actually help to weld these into place. Okay, and we're getting to 9:20 in the morning. Let's see, it's continuing over here. An installation of what will be the curtain wall, and more curtain wall work. You can see what's going on over here. Spending a lot of time over here. Okay, spend a lot of time over here versus the other side. Then meanwhile, look what's happening over here. Boom. Okay. Let's see here. So let's see here, and there's 2:20 p.m. here. And let's see, look at this crane. It went down for a bit. There. Okay. But it's not supporting anything. And what I'm looking for is, because originally this crane was unused for most of July 4th after the earthquake, after 12 noon. Maybe they took the day off, but I don't think preliminary is any connection between yesterday's earthquake and what's happening over here. But it's worth asking, if only someone to say no, right? Or if only to look like there's a no. Okay, so boom. Let's see here, 1:20, 40, 2 o'clock, and here. Looks interesting right there, okay? So that is not the latest. The latest is here and there. Okay, now I'm gonna do something really quick here. And I'm gonna come back to that. So right now, two things have happened here. First of all, they went back to basically, obviously, straighten out previous Truss work and continue work on that side. Hey, for those of you, I'm going to say candidly because this is a vlog, okay? Doug Labisky, if you think there's nothing going on here, don't come here and say there's nothing going on. Just get the fuck out of my channel, okay? Or I'll boot you. Because you should never discourage people from asking questions, and there's been a lot of that here. This is a gigantic public project. It's owned by the public, and yet you're discouraging questions? What the fuck is wrong with you? Not get the fuck off. Get off my channel, okay? Or I'm going to boot you. No, excuse me, I'll just boot you. I don't like that, okay? I don't know you as a person, but I know I don't like that from you, okay? So get off my channel, because you're going to be gone as soon as I open up the other side. I don't like that at all. I could simply choose to get rid of you right now, okay? I don't care what you are. Get off my channel. I guess my moderators aren't here. Yeah, Doug, you're blocked, okay? Get out of here. Get a fucking life. It's Friday night. Go away. Get out of here. Okay, the reason I'm angry, folks, is you don't discourage people from asking questions. And that's what he's doing. Well, you don't ask questions. People like Doug Labisky are the reason why we have, like, for example, the Challenger in 1986, okay? I remember exactly where I was when there was the Challenger. Sean Watson, you can be my security, yeah, because I don't have, Barry Lee was my moderator, and John Marks sort of flew the coop. So yeah, I need a new set of moderators, it looks like, because to get rid of folks like that, because that's disgusting. You know, to just have nothing better to do than to, you know, come up with a name not really your own, okay? But even then, LA, I'm glad you brought that, Ryan. LA is actually not entirely privately funded. And not only that, from a standpoint of a public good, these are gigantic projects that impact millions of people. So to discourage questions about them is criminal. It is flat out criminal to do that. It's criminal, it's unconstitutional, it's unethical, it's every appropriate I can think of. It's absolutely ridiculous. You know, absolutely ridiculous. So, yeah, Doug, I don't want to see you in any form anymore, okay? Period. I don't want to see your name, you're blocked. I'm blocking you. I'm removing your comments. All of your comments are gone, okay? Because you came strictly to do that. That's not trolling. I don't know what you call that. It's not even trolling. It's being disgusting is what it is. That's horrible to tell people to not ask questions about things. That's what you're doing. Oh, don't ask questions. So in other words, from the way you are, it would be okay. I mean, seriously, think about this. Think about how ugly this is. Morton Thiokol had O-rings that obviously, in retrospect, according to Dr. Richard Heyman, the physicist of Caltech who discovered this, had a problem where beyond a certain point of freezing, they went brittle. They went so brittle they cracked. They just shriveled. And that those O-rings basically went supercritical in that way. They cracked, and that's what led to a series of events that led to that caused the Challenger explosion. And no one thought to ask that was the issue. And Morton Thiokol was a loyal contractor to NASA, a loyal NASA contractor. All right. So, okay. So, it's not. It's something that we really have to discourage are people running around saying, "Oh, don't ask questions about things," because if you don't ask questions about things, and they get, and then it becomes a problem, it could lead to a gigantic loss of life, and then people like you, Doug, would be or should be held liable, responsible. All right. But all I know right now is, man, I way don't want you on my channel. I don't want your words. Okay. Nothing. And Sean Watson, as of now, is Sean, you're now a moderator. Welcome aboard. Do me proud. Thank you. You've been deputized. You've been deputized. And Joseph Amadurez asked, in your previous experience, do you know how significant an earthquake has to do with damage to new structures regardless of the epicenter? I think it has a lot to do. Yeah, I do. And it basically, you can look at it like this, okay? There's something, and I've tried to talk about it before, but I'll talk about it again, called simple harmonic motion. And all simple harmonic motion is where you have, oh, this is a great example right here. This is an example I'm about to show you of simple harmonic motion right here. Okay, this. You see this tray? All right. Watch what happens when I do that. You see? That is simple harmonic motion in action. So if I get an earthquake vibration, no matter the distance, if it hits the ground in such a way that it causes a vibration like this is obviously designed to absorb that vibration. But what if you have something that isn't? Okay, you have to test. That's, if you think about this, and this were a stadium, and this were like something that's 100 times larger, obviously a shake like that can be significant. Heck, just that level of shaking is significant, or even less. That's harmonic motion in action. If your stadium or bridge structure is not designed to handle that, you've got a problem. Let me provide another example. The recently reopened Salesforce Transit Center in San Francisco, which my friend Miri Kaplan was the creator of the San Francisco Joint Powers Authority, and retired in 2016. That had a steel cracking problem, which was the fault not of her, but of a lack of inspection that it went on during its work that was done between 2017 and its opening last year. Now, in that instance, and the reason why it applies here is that the Salesforce Transit Center is basically a bridge, much like this. It spans, okay? It spans, see that? It spans, it spans over Fremont Street and First Street, and it's 1,500 feet in, excuse me, can you see that? It's over there, yeah. It's 1,500 feet in length, and it's 6 stories high, okay? And so basically, 1,500 feet and 6 stories high. Now, if you have bus vibration from buses riding along on the third deck, and then people on top of it walking around and dancing, okay, and all the other ground vibration and everything else, those forces combine in such a way to put pressure on the structure. If they put pressure on a structure in such a way that the structure is not designed to handle it, what could result is precisely what happened. Stress fractures, all right? So in the case of Las Vegas Stadium, what you have is a situation where, and this is a very important problem, okay? This is an extremely important problem. You've got these truss segments, that are designed, all right? They're cantilever in their way, all right? It's not just that they're delicate, they're also cantilever. So if you have something that comes along and gives them a preliminary shake without the structure being completed, something there could be damaged depending on, this is what I don't know, the level of shaking that has impacted the ground here. That's the question. What is the level of vibration of any that has impacted the ground? The other question I have is, look, I don't care what anybody tells you, the Decatur fault is just 1 block away from this. You understand? And it is an active fault. It is 1 block in that direction. Okay? So I don't know the system of faults that could cause the Decatur to be triggered, but I would worry about that with this suddenly exceptionally active activity around there. I mean, that's horrifying. Okay, let's go back to the live shot here. As you can see, it's getting dark pretty fast. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, so basically, the question is, to what degree has vibration come through here where this was impacted even a little bit, even a micro amount, because that impacts the installation of these trusses. Now, the good news is that they were able to lift and install this truss. They're still working on it. You can tell. They're still working on it, okay? They are still working on it, all right? Right here. They're still working on it. They're still working on it. So that is that's the latest that I can see, all right? See, CRF 16 says they're not worried about that fault like they should be. I'm going to do them a solid and say I think that they are. I think any person that wants this project to go is, or should be, even the least bit concerned. If I'm Don Webb, and I don't mean this as a pun, I'm shaking in my boots over the possibility that my project is impacted by, that sudden rash of earthquakes, not just large like those two, but the small ones, all right? And then, of course, Captain Underpants quite accurately says, what about the Rams Stadium? And he would be correct. And I'll, take that up too, because, and that's a great video to follow up on. What about the Rams Stadium? I think, but here's to answer your question, the same concern applies to the Rams Stadium. However, there's a difference. Let me go to the Rams Stadium and show you why the LA Rams Stadium is LA Rams Stadium and the earthquake. Okay, earthquake, and Rams Stadium is, I hold, better able to withstand such an earthquake, and the reason is that, first of all, it's obviously it was. The cost overruns for the Rams Stadium were done so that it can be specifically designed to handle a giant earthquake. All right? The cost overruns for the Rams Stadium were done, hey, G. Taylor, because it had to be specifically designed to handle a giant earthquake. There is no evidence, either by sight or by a documentation, that the Raiders Stadium was designed to handle a giant earthquake, particularly not with that cantilevered roof. But look at this. This is, I want to show you. The Rams Stadium here, by contrast, this is what it looks like. Or let's see if I can find the latest cam, so I give you the proper representation of it, right? And there it is. Okay, there. There it is. Here is, there, okay, boom, here, look at this. Okay. This is the Rams Stadium. And look at how its stadium roof frame is designed, to think about it, it's designed to take the shake and spread it over a much larger area. Okay, much larger. And then the bowl is actually separate from it, so these components are able to cut vibration or the propagation of vibration through the structure. It's really I think, ingeniously designed that way. I really do. Um, the Raiders Stadium, okay, this was designed from the ground up. Okay, here, see that? You see how it's almost like a frame that holds the stadium in place in a sense. And it's like if you think about it, it's like a giant shock absorber, you know, a giant spreader, if you will. And so the roof fabric will cover over this. And you see, look at how these truss. This is one giant truss. You see how this is? This is firm. These are not segments that were individually put in that cantilever. All right, they are tied together as a unit. All right, this is a different structure. It's a different conception than the Raiders. The Raiders approach, and I have to say I like this one better. So if I have to choose between the two as to which one is better able to stand up to a large earthquake like that one, like the ones we're talking about, well, quite obviously it's the one that was designed to withstand a large earthquake. Duh, the Rams Stadium. But you would say, why? What about the Raiders Stadium? The Raiders Stadium came from a design that was open air in Carson in its preliminary stages. In other words, what happened was, and this is the issue, when it was originally conceived, they had the Raiders, and it was only Manteca. HNTB came in later to fill in the engineering blanks, if you will, to give the design its structural components so that it was buildable. All right. In other words, you want a design that looks like a race car, or it looks like this, but the question is, how do you achieve that in terms of steel design? How do you achieve that in terms of frame design? How do you achieve that in terms of materials? How do you achieve that in terms of concrete? How do you, and everything else? That's where HNTB comes in. That's where they fill in the blank. And you would say, how do I know about HNTB? Well, I personally know about them because HNTB redesigned the Raiders Stadium, and it was up to me to find the drawings that HNTB made of the Raiders Stadium, Oakland Coliseum Stadium redesign for the Raiders, because I needed them for the Super Bowl. And Sally Roach of SMG, SMG was a stadium manager at the Coliseum at the time, told me they didn't exist. All right? And I knew they existed. So I went on my own expedition. I found them. Monir Hablu, who worked for HNTB, called me. This was in 1999. He said, Zinni, I have your drawings. I told Sally, I said, hey, I found the drawings. And she says, well, you can't use them. I called then Oakland City manager Robert Bob, and I ordered him to fire her. I said, you either fire her, or I'm going on the ABC, and I'm talking about this to the world. This is horrendous. This is tragic. SMG at the time was quite literally trying to screw Oakland out of not hosting a Super Bowl. You hear what I'm saying? I could write a book on the stuff I've experienced. So some of you people out there who think I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, I can give you the finger, but I think it's inappropriate to do. You can just go do something with yourself. I have a long history here. And instead of pretending like I don't know something, why don't you try looking on LinkedIn and seeing what I did, and then asking me some fucking questions for a change like the rest of the folks do. All right, here's my point. HNTB is the organization that, and I think Joseph says that the Raiders Stadium was more concerned about the visual aesthetics. Yeah, because Mark wanted this design, and as did the Rams, right? And what happened was that they hadn't gotten to a point where they knew they were going to build the Carson Stadium to where they said, okay, here are the structural particulars for this open air stadium. Remember, what is now the Las Vegas Stadium was supposed to be open air, all right? But Mark took that design and asked Manteca to say, hey, look, can you make it? Can you dome it? All right. So basically, they were being asked to put a dome around something that was supposed to be open air to begin with. By contrast, the Rams Stadium was domed from the start. It was always supposed to be domed, and now it's earth sheltered. What does that mean? It's actually built into the ground. It goes down. It goes down, I believe, 80 feet into the ground. So yeah, when you go, if you ever have a chance to go there, you're gonna be walking down 80 feet. Yeah, and Cowboy Rush, Levi Stadium, and CenturyLink, they're both able to stand earthquakes. And in particular, Levi Stadium, which I visited both actually. CenturyLink is where the Seattle Seahawks play. Levi Stadium is where the Niners play. I was there for Super Bowl 50, and if you take a look at Levi Stadium, you'll find the central frame actually tapers upward. It's an A-frame. If you go there and you're thinking, oh, I'll go to the third deck because the lines are shorter and that sort of thing, as opposed to the first deck where there's more room, it gets tight up there. But there's a reason. It's an A-frame. It's like that. It's an A-frame. So, G. Taylor says, NBA canceled games in Vegas tonight. Wow, they did? Whoa, see what I'm talking about? The NBA canceled games in Vegas. You mean the WNBA? Because of the earthquake situation? Is that it? Joseph Mendoza says that's why Dodger Stadium has lasted for so long. Let me check more on that. That's big news. Big news. Big news. Let's see here. Let's see here. We've got. All right. Let's see here. I'm going to type WNBA Las Vegas and click on enter. All right. And see if there's any news about that. Okay. Mystics. And the Mystics and Las Vegas Aces are at halftime and they're still playing. Okay. Get this. Show you something, all right? Okay, look. Earthquake from California felt at Mystics versus Aces game. All right? So they felt it there. All right? So there you go. All right? So if they felt it tonight, 47 minutes ago, let's have a look at that. That's on Bullets Forever. Let's have a look at that. Oh, the Men's Summer League? Okay. Oh, the Knicks Pelicans? All right, hold on a second. Because if this was felt in Vegas, look at this. A 7.1 magnitude earthquake was felt in Las Vegas, Nevada, where the Mystics were playing the Aces. All right, and this is by Albert Lee at 11:48 p.m. It is now 12:36 Eastern. You go down there, and Ella Del Don, she felt the quake. Boy, okay. We're keeping our paywall down for all coverage on recent earthquakes. Check back here for more information. LA Times, Friday evening, a 7.1 magnitude hit, okay? There was a brief delay because of an earthquake. Let's check that. Let's see what happened here. Bear with me because I'm waiting for this buffering to stop so this can open. Why are the state not built? Hold on a second. There was a brief delay because of an earthquake. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, I'm waiting for this to stop buffering. There we go. You can see it's shaking. See that? You see that shake? Whoa, look at that. You see that? Whoa. Yes, prayers for Ridgecrest. Whoa, look at this. Oh my Lord. Wow. Yeah. So, okay, that seals it for me. They got to go back and inspect that stadium tomorrow, okay? They have to go and inspect the LA stadium too. And it is downright scary, okay? It really is. And so I would be very concerned about both stadiums down there. More so the Vegas stadium. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Sorry about that, folks. More so the, hold on a second. More so the Vegas stadium because it is not designed to handle that. Put that over here. It is not, yeah, try to get that cord out of the way. More so the Vegas stadium because it's not designed to handle that timber. And those trusses, and you have the overhanging like that without any other support, and they're not completely the support structure is not finished, that's a big concern. So you want to check that out. Yeah, Cowboy Wrestler, I was in for the Loma Prieta earthquake, and I can tell you exactly where I was when it hit. I was walking down Bancroft Avenue in Berkeley. I was headed toward downtown BART. I'd done some client work. I was doing, in fact, doing a real estate investment analysis report and market study for a client who wanted to build a farmer's market on the corner of Staten and Grand Avenue in Oakland, which would have cost about $4 million. And so John Sharon. So anyway, I was headed down to meet him and relax on what was a very, very nice day, right? And I'm walking down, I'm walking down Bancroft, and I swear the whole pavement looked like it just came up in a wave toward me, like, ugh, and went by me. And I went, whoa, and there was a fellow walking right by me, and I said to him in English, and you would say, why am I saying in English? Bear with me. I said to him in English, did you feel that? And he said to me in Spanish, which sounded like yeah to me. And it took us a full 5 minutes to realize that neither he nor I spoke the mother tongue of the other person. So, I mean, that, and so by the time I got to the Golden Bear, it was, I couldn't get to BART. AC Transit was running. I got on the bus, the 51, and there was this blind lady with a radio. And you have to remember, this is, keep in mind, this is 86, okay? And so before the internet or anything else, and she had this radio blaring, and she says, oh, the Bay Bridge has collapsed. Oh, the Bay Bridge is falling down. Oh, the freeways have collapsed. And I'm thinking, you can't see, okay? You don't have the benefit of a smartphone, all right? And you can't see, okay? And so you don't know what's going on. Thanks, Sean. You don't know what's going on. So I'm thinking, my God, this is like Armageddon. You know, what the heck is this? By the time I get to the Golden Bear, everybody was there. The power was out everywhere. It ended up being a very interesting night. I'll leave it at that. Yeah, I remember that was a whole... when I was staying over on Montecito, I was staying in Bruce Lee's old apartment. I was staying in Bruce Lee's old apartment. I moved by the lake the next year. That was 92. That was because that was 80, no, excuse me, it was 89, not 86, it was 89. 89, I was staying in Bruce Lee's old apartment, and I lived there for about a year. Yeah, that was over Montecito in central East Oakland. And so I had lived a block from the Golden Bear about a year before. I was sort of bouncing around, and then settled into a place on Van Buren, and then where I am now when I'm back in Oakland. But I digress. Yeah, I remember exactly where I was. Sean Watson, 1 years old. Wow. And Cowboy Wrestler says he remembers the Northridge earthquake in 1994, and he reports that his apartment was in the San Fernando Valley. Also sustained, at the time, sustained heavy damage. Anybody else with an earthquake story? John Akala says, reading the Pelicans-Knox game was postponed during play, and Spurs Magic was postponed after the third quarter for precautionary reasons. Right. That's the smart thing to do. Okay, so you've got to ask the question, what's going on with Las Vegas Stadium and what's going on with the Rams Stadium in that context. Although in terms of distance, it seems like, yeah, you have to ask both. You know, what's happening, because the Ridgemont Quake is not that far from Vegas at all. So I'm going on. So yeah, this is all something else. All right, folks, I'll tell you what, let's do this, because it is 12:43, almost 1 o'clock, and giving my regular sleep patterns. Let's pick this up tomorrow evening at about the same time, and we'll have more updates as to what's happening, okay? And then I can get some rest. I didn't get to bed until 7 a.m. Yeah, when I went to sleep, it was the crack of dawn. It was beyond the crack of dawn. When I actually... You say, why did I stay up that late? Oh, don't get me started. No, it was for no other reason than just, you know, stuff to do that I did. Recoding. All right, good night, everybody. I'll see ya. Take care. And Sean Watson, thanks for being a moderator. And please email me at me write the email down so I'll make sure I get this taken care of here for you. And yeah, right here. Zenny at Zenny62.com. There, okay? Joseph says, just curious, when I went to Berkeley for a summer program, I stayed close to Berkeley, but across the way from where I was staying in Oakland. What part of Oakland is that, if such a thing? I don't understand. You said you went to Berkeley for a summer program. You stayed close, but all right. Berkeley's not part of Oakland. Berkeley is to the north of Oakland. It is a separate city from Oakland. All right. Yeah. So basically, oh, Donut's talking to me. I party too much? Yeah. Code party. Yeah, that's right. Hey, how about AH? I call it the AHREF party, right? Or the how about the function PHP party? And if you know anything about WordPress, you get somewhat of a clue what I was up to. All right. I don't know, but we'll talk to you all about that tomorrow. Okay. Thank you all, everybody. I'll see ya.